Hey gang, today finds us in northern Michigan, far northern Michigan. This is the mining area, and this particular town, cemetery, is Ishpeming. Now, we've done a lot of coverage up here, stories, well, the copper mining on just northwest, west of here, the Keweenaw Peninsula up in Calumet, the Cliff Mine north of that, and also where the little girl fell down the mine shaft. I think we've done 3 stories up here already. That's copper mining. This area was more iron ore, but nonetheless, mining this whole part. And we're here at this cemetery in this town. It's a very sad story of a young man who died in 1904. His name was Martin Pengilly, 19 years old. Working the mine up in this area right here, and they lived here in Ishpeming, but he got laid off. So he, as it turns out, he was supporting his entire family. There were other children, siblings, there were brothers and sisters, and he was doing it all. He ended up relocating from here because he got laid off. He went to the Keweenaw Peninsula and he ended up getting hired at the Tri-Mountain Mine. That's about 20 miles south of the Calumet where the Italian Hall disaster happened. It's all those mines up and down the UP there. And sadly, he was killed there. I don't know the specific details. We tried to research. I think he fell down a mine shaft or something. But interestingly, the copper mines were, you could maybe say they were, well, for a time until the open pit mining was happening around here, was probably more dangerous, very dangerous. And as we said, I filmed the Italian Hall disaster and in researching that Calumet mine was killing a man a week, 12 injured a week, and we talked about it there. But let's take a walk. We're going to visit 2 graves here today, and the first being Martin's mother, who is buried right here, Eliza Whitford. So she must have been remarried. And she was born, it looks like, in 1852. And she passed in 1931, we see here. And she was a widow, well, back in 1904, when this tragedy happened to Martin, her son. And can you imagine the news? Can you even imagine the news that she got? And there was a newspaper article, and she was told the next day after it happened. And imagine Martin was supporting the whole family, and now he's killed. From the last name, I'm guessing she did remarry. Let's walk to Martin's grave, and I will tell you, he is, I believe, unmarked. Could not find a stone for him, but I found his brother's stone. Maybe one of his brothers. But yeah, iron ore here, moves to the Keweenaw Peninsula and goes to Tri-Mountain where he meets his end. The Tri-Mountain mine was a later mine. I mean, Cliff Mine we talked about, that was the first, mid-1800s. Tri-Mountain, I think it was 1899, closed in 1930. And I was talking about copper mining being more dangerous. These mines were much deeper, and they had, well, there were dangers in both iron ore and copper. But the copper, I mean, these mines averaged, the ones we're talking about, a mile deep almost. Imagine a mile. Quincy Mine was almost 2 miles deep, which is hard to even wrap your head around. I mean, you look down the highway and he can't even really see you 2 miles. And then you think, okay, I'm going 55, 60 miles an hour for a couple of minutes or a minute or two at that speed, and I'm not even at the bottom of some of these, the deepest mine shaft. The heat down there was horrendous. The water constant water and flooding because the pumps would go out and you'd be drowned, cave-ins, all sorts of hazards, falling down a mine shaft. Just imagine, just horrendous. Now the iron ore here mining was maybe more dangerous after the turn of the century in the 1900s because they went to more open pit mining. So you had explosions and dynamite, a lot of people getting killed that way. So we're here near this vault house, it's called, and just on the other side is his grave. Well, we're pretty sure where he's buried. Look how these zinc monuments hold up. I'm guessing this was the community vault back in the day. They call this the vault house here. And yeah, 1891. So in the winter, and especially up here, crazy winters, you couldn't dig. It was before backhoes. And you would have to store the bodies somewhere until spring where you can dig the ground. So just past that American flag is the grave of his brother, or one of his brothers. And you see there's a lot of vacant space here. And I'm guessing, I checked this whole section out and could not find a stone for Martin. Well, they had no money when he died in 1904, but William here died in 1920, so could probably afford a stone. I'm sure Eliza was remarried by then, and they had some income. Now these dates, if you go to find a grave, it doesn't line up. You got William and Emily. Emily is buried somewhere else, but William here, they have him in Find a Grave as May 11th, 1871 being born, not 1894, and him dying December 15th, 1930 at age 59. He died at Grosse Pointe Farms, Wayne County, Michigan, but shows buried here, plot 3833. This is section 33, so I don't know. But the reason that, and rest in peace, William, this maybe it's another brother, but nowhere here do I see Pengilly. So this is a family plot for someone else. But yeah, I checked the whole area. So anyway, that's all we could really find. So Martin, very sad, died a horrible way in the mine, and I'm sure no pension, no relief for the family. So it's pretty sad. But I guess she had remarried and things worked out. So that's the story here from Ishpeming. Well, I will show you a picture of Martin that we got from Thanatos, and that is a picture of him in his coffin, or casket if you will. And that's all, that's the only memory, just a picture. So rest in peace.